neuroplasticity, or our brain and nervous system's ability to adapt and change, not only how it reacts, but how it is actually physically structured over time based on what we feed it and expose to it. We can take this extraordinary ability back in our own hands. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Shafer of Talks with Dr. Shafer. I'm a physician, mom, life coach, musician, author, publisher, and I'm passionate about helping you reclaim your story so that you can build your most beautiful future. Here on Talks with Dr. Shafer, every Tuesday, we air episodes where we speak with incredible guests who share their stories of how they have reclaimed their stories, their lives, and are building the most beautiful future and making an incredible impact on the world. And on Thursdays, I have neuroscience-minded mindset chats where we help you work towards mastering your mindset so that you too can reclaim your story and build your most beautiful future. So I'd love to get into today's episode, which is called Neuroplasticity, No Quick Fix. This year, we are going to be having intermittent segments on the concept of neuroplasticity on our short talks on Talks with Dr. Shafer. Now, sometimes all of the talk we hear about mindset, changing habits, and manifestation can sound far-fetched and based in fantasy rather than in science. And that's coming from me, a physician. And this can lead to a feeling of resistance within us. We are all so busy and our resources are stretched thin. It's easy to feel like you don't want to be bothered by or distracted by something else that will be a waste of your most precious resource, your time, which is already in low reserves. But the reality is that all of the quick fixes that are marketed to us are truly wastes of our time and energy. They are not going to get us to our goal of the lives that we want. Think of how you became who you are today. You didn't become the complex and extraordinary being you are today because you bought that thing that promised to make you feel that way, like $1 million. All of the fashion, the toys, the shiny things in the world, they could not make you who you are or change you. You are who you are because of what was invested in you, because of your environment, your influences, how you interacted with your world, what opportunities you had and what choices you made, and how you responded to them, and how you learned to navigate changes over time all played a huge role in you becoming who you were. And none of that happened overnight. You are who you are due to a lifetime of investment in your development. It is not uncommon for us to end up at some point or other on autopilot, in a sense of being that is less aware, less intentional, and more focused on simply getting through the subscribed routines of our day. Home, work, home, social, sleep, repeat. We find ourselves in autopilot mode, often in busy seasons of life, as well as when we have gone off of our own path and found ourselves focusing outward. Who do I need to be to succeed? Who do I need to be to impress this person? What should I wear to show that I am confident and important? Now, we all have had to fake it till we make it from time to time, but the emphasis on what we are faking can make the difference as to whether this time is transformative for good or takes us further away from our true goals. I would call this time period the messy middle, where we aren't who we were, but we are not quite yet who we are becoming. If we are working on creating habits, routines, and belief systems that elevate us toward the next level in our life, in alignment with our long-term goals, this faking isn't actually faking, it's practicing. If you have been a victim of bullying, narcissistic control, or domestic abuse, for example, you may have developed habits in your life that keep you stuck in that mindset and don't actually represent what you want for yourself or what you thought for yourself. Who were you before those unhealthy systems forced upon you negative beliefs, preying on your fears and evoking feelings of shame to keep you small and to keep you not a threat to the system that was trying to benefit off of you and control you? Something as simple as how you are presenting yourself to the world can make a big difference. After years of being told directly and indirectly that my worth lay only in what I could do for the person trying to control me, and being told that nothing I ever did was good enough, over and over and over, I began to walk through the world with my head down. It was as if I was showing everyone I came in contact with that I was subservient to them. I will not fight you. I will not assert myself. I am not a threat. Please don't hurt me. I can remember after finally gaining more freedom and safety in my life and routines, that when I would walk through an airport or down a busy street, if someone approached me and we met eyes, I recognized in myself a pattern of behavior. They'd look at me and I would quickly bow my head and stare at the ground. I was the first person to move out of the way in the grocery store just in case the person approaching me, now 10 feet away, might need something where I'm standing at the moment. The first to say, "I'm so sorry," when someone walked near me, bending my body like a boomerang to make room for this person to pass. I didn't even know where they were going to go. I wasn't in the way. I was simply taking up space, but I had an implanted belief that I didn't deserve the space with which I was occupying. These habits were extremely well practiced and ingrained in me, and a response to these negative and false beliefs. When I started to invest in my mindset and commit to growing into the person I wanted to become, rather than agreeing to limit myself to the persona that they wanted me to be, it pained me each time I realized what I was doing, how I was responding to my environment. How could I ever become the strong, confident, self-possessed person that I wanted to be if I was literally bowing down in shame to the entire world? But changing your mindset and limiting beliefs takes time, a lot of time, and deliberate effort, consistency, and accountability. These beliefs and habits were not created overnight, but became well-worn paths in my mind that dictated my reflexive reactions to the world. Now I had to learn how to respond differently if I wanted my life to look differently. And therein came the need to fake it till I make it. In this scenario, this looked like starting to physically make myself keep my head raised as I walked, not diverting my eyes from someone's gaze. I practiced giving a brief glance, then eyes back forward on my path, saying to myself, I deserve to be here. I am allowed to take up this space as much as everyone else on this street. I don't always have to be the one to break my step. I can keep moving forward in the direction respectfully, not only to the people around me, but also to myself. I practiced that if I was walking down the street and someone was approaching me with the same abilities as I had to move to allow the other to pass, then when appropriate, I accepted that they too could make an effort. And then I wondered, why was I stealing the opportunity for others to show me respect? Well, likely I had bought into the belief that I didn't deserve respect. When you're in a relationship where you're being controlled and expected to serve the system, family, or person that benefits from you being controlled, it is common to be fed the message that you don't deserve any better than what you are given. And over time, you learn to overextend yourself to try to earn the respect back that it seems you've lost with this person, as if you did something wrong. But you didn't. You can't earn that respect back. You never had it, and you were never meant to. It's hard to control someone who loves and respects themselves. That requires collaboration, compassion, empathy, and compromise. The controlling person or entity can't do that. So they need to mold the people in their lives into people who will comply and who will not assert their autonomy and need for their own respect. So what do you do? Well, you have to decide for yourself if you are willing to continue to play that role, to buy into the belief that you are less than and less deserving of respect and representation of your wants and needs than the people you feel compelled to prove your worthiness to. But when you start to commit to returning to yourself, to acknowledging your worth, your value, it sets you on a new trajectory. Once you keep your head held high in a room of people and refuse to lower your eyes, this act of self-respect acts as a catalyst to your personal development. Once you realize that no one other than the controllers in your life expected you to divert your eyes, to step out of their way, but rather they were simply responding to this learned behavior from you and following your lead, then you realize that you do have power in setting the course of your life, of your interactions. You do get to show others how they can treat you, what response you will accept, and what will cross your boundaries that you are going to be learning how to set and will be directing how you respond. And it begins with the simplest things, like our body language and our reflexive responses to the world around us. Making sure that not only are we respectful towards others, but we are showing love and respect to ourselves. Starting to create new habits, new responses to external stimuli from the ground level up helps us to create a new basis for how we are going to move forward in the world one step at a time. And it sets us on good footing so we don't lose our balance as little challenges come up on our growth journey. You see, neuroplasticity, or our brain and nervous system's ability to adapt and change, not only how it reacts, but how it is actually physically structured over time based on what we feed it and expose to it. Well, we can take this extraordinary ability back in our own hands. We can take what has happened to us, learn from it, and deliberately set ourselves on the path of understanding, healing, and finally, of continued growth and development. When we practice the habits and beliefs that are in alignment with what we want from our lives, we tap into our brain's superpowers, such as its pattern recognition, and create opportunities to manifest what we want. We can stay stuck in patterns of seeing the negatives and our limitations, or we can elevate our gaze up to the positives that we wish to see, and our brains, through their hardwired propensity to confirming our beliefs, will start to focus on the good in our lives. Our brains will start to calculate all we have going for us rather than against us, to focus on problem solving rather than the problem itself. And suddenly we will actually be manifesting the lives we want for ourselves because we allowed ourselves to believe in them. And we set our intention to notice and be grateful for all of the opportunities in our lives, even the ones born out of extraordinary challenges. So today, don't waste your time, money, or resources on all of the quick fixes being marketed to you, either on social media or even in discussions with your peers. We are all easily distracted by these promises of a quick fix for our problems. But if we are honest with ourselves, our small problems may be solved quickly, but they tend to repeat themselves because the habits that we have adapted that led to these missteps are often deeper rooted issues that, in order for us to really change them, require us to take a deeper look at ourselves. Real change in our habits require that we assess the why behind our actions and the beliefs we hold about ourselves that are driving them. Once we understand these fundamental aspects of the persona that we have constructed to interact with the world, we can begin to challenge it. We can ask if these responses are really serving us. We can question if these beliefs we hold about ourselves are really true. And once we start small incremental changes in our habits to move us towards a healthier mindset, it's going to start to hurt. When you grow, things don't fit the way they used to, but that's not a sign to stop growing. It's not a sign to shrink yourself back down. It's a sign that you need to go where you can grow. In life, we outgrow our spaces, our roles, and it's our job to listen to our bodies and to our nervous systems when they tell us it's time to repot ourselves because we have outgrown this space, this place, or this relationship. Once you allow yourself to grow, trying to stay in places and relationships that require you to stay smaller than you are will no longer be acceptable. The discomfort of not being yourself will be too great. Remember, pain is your nervous system's way of telling you to remove yourself from what is causing you pain, to protect you. Not to stop growing or being yourself, but to stop interacting with things, people, or environments that cause you harm. And when you do, you will have more energy and attention to focus on your continued growth, and you will be able to find spaces that allow you to become the person that you were always meant to be. I hope this short talk was helpful to introduce the concepts of neuroplasticity and how understanding the value of investing time in your mindset and incorporating habits in your life that contribute to your growth will help you on your journey to reclaiming your story and building your most beautiful future. Subscribe to Talks with Dr. Shafer, where you enjoy podcasts for more inspiring short talks like today's to help you master your mindset, and weekly inspiring guest episodes with those who have reclaimed their stories and are living life to the fullest. I'm so glad you're here. Until next time, stay safe and take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Everybody's lonely, but you can hold on to me, and I will try to make it right. Everyone needs something. Let me be that